underbelly, as far as I know, was buried intact. The ovaries, remember, the kidneys are over here, the liver, and somehow the lungs just tipped me over the edge. And I said, Alan, I'm going to go and sit outside on the pavement. And I got up, and the world was swaying very gently, and I headed out to the pavement. And as I walked through the restaurant, I heard from behind me a voice saying, well, 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 there goes Neil, scary trousers go. So that is the story.
Any question from the top? Just keep out, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed you sprinkled some Miyazaki references in some of your literature. Was that your doing, or was that the artist, or was it a combination?
I think the Totaros that have crept into my literature in comics, there are several Totaros that you can find were all put in by the respective artists, by Charles Bess, by Jill Thompson. Which is not to say that I wouldn't have done it if I'd thought of it. Because I had the honor to work with Mr. Miyazaki on the English translation of Princess Mononoke. And about 18 months ago, I had one of that way you have, every now and then you look back and you go, that was one of the best days of my life. But you only realize it looking back. Going through, you go, I'm having an amazing day. And then you look back and you go, that was one of the days. And about, actually, a year ago, because I would have gone through, 2 years, 18 months ago, when Beowulf was going to be released in Japan, they flew me in. Stardust was going to be released in Japan. They flew me in, and I had a day off. One day off in my time there. And I contacted the guys, Steve Albert from Studio Ghibli, who I met and worked with a lot on Mononoke, and I said, is there any chance that I could just come out and say hello, come out to the Studio Ghibli studios? And he said, of course, come on out. So I went out to Studio Ghibli, I was welcomed in, and I figured that somewhere in there I would probably get to say hello to Mr. Miyazaki if I was lucky he was in. What I did not expect to happen was that Miyazaki was like the third person I met there. I just decided that really he should show me round, and then he should show me round the town and show me the children's centre that he's building, more or less in hand. And then take me to the little Studio Ghibli retreat, and we'd sit and talk about children's fiction and Diana Wynne Jones and things like that through an interpreter, which is what happened. So I got to spend an entire day with Mr. Miyazaki, and he showed me everything he was working on Ponyo, and explaining the whole thing to me, and all of his watercolor paintings, and it was just... And what made it an amazingly wonderful day was, as far as he is concerned, I don't think Mr. Miyazaki knows that I am anything other than the nice guy who translated Princess Mononoke for Americans, and that he didn't get anybody ever coming up to him and saying, that was a bad translation. It wasn't like he was doing this for a visiting celebrity. He doesn't care about celebrities completely. He was doing it because we met and liked each other at the Lincoln Center, and he wanted to be a gracious host, and I had one of the most fantastic days of my life just with him. So there you go. So I absolutely would have put in those Totaros, but I didn't. It was the artists.
Time is running out, but I suppose one last question, perhaps just a short one.
Between all the movies that you have done, Mirror Mask, Stardust and all, which one have you had most creative control over? Which one came out most looking like you imagined?
Oh, actually, the only movie so far that I can actually say I've really had creative control of it, and that came out looking like I imagined, and that I was absolutely happy with, has not yet been screened. And it's about 8.5 minutes long, and I directed it. And it's a silent movie. I made it about 3 months ago in London, and it's called Statuesque, and it stars Bill Nighy.
Oh, Bill Nighy! The science guy?
Wonderful English actor who you may remember as Slarty Barkfast in The Hitchhiker's